Convergence testing answers a critical question. Have I run enough simulations to trust my results? It's like checking whether you've flipped a coin enough times to confidently estimate the probability of heads, essential for reliable financial modeling. Monte Carlo simulations use random sampling to estimate complex financial outcomes. But here's the challenge. Random results vary each time you run them. Convergence testing determines when you've run enough iterations for your results to become statistically stable and reliable. Think of it like polling in an election. With 100 responses, your poll might show wildly different results each time. With 10,000 responses, the results become much more consistent and trustworthy. Convergence testing finds that sweet spot for your financial simulations. The system tests your simulation at different iteration levels, 1,000 simulations, then 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, and so on. At each level, it measures one selected key statistic on parameter CELB 106, mean returns, volatility, or a certain percentile. When these numbers stop changing significantly as you add more iterations, you've achieved convergence. You also define on parameters CELB 105 your convergence precision level at a certain percentage. Finally, on cell parameters B107, you define your persistence level as a number expressed in number of iterations. For example, if your convergence precision has been determined at 1% on the statistic of the left tail percentile at a persistence level of 100 iterations. This means that this test will run consecutive iterations until the rate of change on your left tail percentile changes less than 1% on the last consecutive 100 iterations. At this point, the test will stop and will report on CELB 108 that achieved number of required iterations. Convergence testing examines several critical metrics. The running mean should stabilize around the true value rather than jumping around. Standard errors should decline predictably as you add iterations, specifically following a 1 over square root of n pattern. Confidence intervals should narrow consistently, giving you more precise estimates. Running a convergence test requires minimal setup but provides maximum confidence in your results. Start by selecting your financial model in CELB 18 of the parameters sheet. Each model may converge at different rates, so test each one individually. Verify that your random seed is set in CELB 40. Using a consistent random seed ensures your convergence test results are reproducible and comparable across different runs. Once configured, click the Run Convergence Test button. The system automatically runs simulations at incremental iteration levels, tracking statistical stability at each step on your selected statistic. The process takes longer than a single simulation since it's essentially running multiple simulations at different lengths, but the insights into result reliability are invaluable.
For practical interpretation, consider these guidelines. If your key metric stabilizes within the first few thousand iterations and stays stable through your maximum test level, your chosen iteration count is adequate. If metrics continue changing significantly even at high iteration counts, increase your simulation length. Use convergence testing strategically to optimize your simulation workflow. Once you know how many iterations your model needs for stable results, you can set that as your standard simulation length. Balancing accuracy with computation time. For routine analysis, you might accept slightly less precision for faster results. For example, for multiple simulation processes, such as multiple model simulation, walk-forward backtesting or marginal analysis, a suggested 1,000 iterations in place might do the job, even though some precision is compromised, regardless of what's been recommended by the convergence test. For critical decisions like large portfolio changes or regulatory reporting, ensure full convergence with higher iteration counts. Different risk metrics converge at different rates. Value at risk estimates often require more iterations than mean estimates, especially for tail risk calculations. Test convergence separately for each metric you rely on. Document your convergence testing process and results. This demonstrates due diligence for regulatory compliance and internal risk governance. Many regulatory frameworks explicitly require evidence that Monte Carlo simulations have achieved statistical convergence. Use convergence testing when implementing new models or modifying existing ones to ensure changes don't introduce numerical instabilities. Convergence testing ensures your simulation results are trustworthy, not just impressive-looking numbers. Focus on statistical stability, declining standard errors, and consistent batch results. When in doubt, test more iterations. The cost of additional computation is far less than the cost of bad investment decisions based on unreliable simulations.